Returning from our coverage here at the Florida Meet the Experts 3, We're at the third one now, here in Fort Lauderdale, sponsored by Robert Platshorn and the Silver Tour. I'm Radical Russ Belville with 420 Radio, and we're joined here by Omar Recuero. He's a candidate for Florida State Representative in District 100. First of all, 100 districts, wow. But welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Where is District 100 for our Florida listeners?
District 100 is in the southeast portion of Broward County.
Okay.
And it also covers the very northeast portion of Miami-Dade County. Okay. So here we are in Hollywood. It covers the beach half of Hollywood. And in Dade County, it covers a few cities: Aventura, Sunny Isles Beach, Golden Beach, Bay Harbor, Bow Harbor Islands, Bay Harbor Islands, Surfside, and then stops right there, right before the city of Miami Beach actually starts, the city limits and stuff.
Okay. Now, Florida, for those of us in marijuana reform, we always kind of point to Florida as one of the tough states as far as marijuana laws go. Anything 21 grams or more is a felony in this state. Legislatively speaking, what's been happening? I know you passed a CBD bill recently, but what's been happening in the Florida legislature, and what would you, as a state representative, want to see happen in the Florida legislature on this issue?
Okay. We have 120 legislators, just to let you know how that works. This year we had the Charlotte's Web bill, which, in my opinion, and I'm going to be blunt, they did that just to kind of make Rick Scott look good.
Yeah.
It's a big boys club in Tallahassee.
Sure.
It's, you got to be in it or you're not, and they did that for to say, hey, here, they called it the Compassionate, Medical Cannabis Act or whatever, to kind of put a spin on it.
Yeah.
So, I, as a libertarian, support full legalization, and that's, theoretical or in time. It's not going to happen right now.
Sure.
1/3 of the state legislature here in Florida has already been reelected. That's it. November, and we still have the primaries coming because of they're not unopposed.
Gotcha. Running unopposed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's still going to be kind of the same thing, a little bit of the same thing, the big boys club, and they're very much against marijuana, and they just have their it's a gateway drug, this, that. It's the same fearful rhetoric that you get. So for me personally, what I would do is we have to push for Amendment 2. A lot of people may have been talking to you today saying, hell yeah, Amendment 2 is going to pass. I'll hit you with some facts. Amendment 2 was signed by 40% of the people that signed a petition to get Amendment 2 on the ballot didn't vote in the last election. So the biggest enemy of Amendment 2 is people not coming out and voting,
Or thinking it's a done deal.
Oh, yeah, because, they've been doing polls, and it's polling as high as like 85%. But that's a poll.
Right.
They called you or they came to you and said, hey, how do you feel about Amendment 2? Yeah. Well, yeah, we need you to come out and vote for it. So,
right.
So when it does get passed, if it does get passed, and I believe it should, I want to work towards, and hopefully it's the first thing that's on the session. We have a very short session here in Florida, once per year, 60 days. That's how the session works.
Okay.
Where the legislators meet, bills get talked about when they come out of committee, and then the House votes on them, then it goes to the Senate, so forth, and then it'll go to the governor's desk. So we want to address medical marijuana. We want to address Amendment 2 right away, get it all sorted out so that it can be put to use as quickly as possible and get the medicine to people who need it.
Yeah. In 2010, California was trying to pass legalization back then, and then Governor Schwarzenegger rushed through a decrim bill. And a lot of people said the point of that was to try to take the wind out of the sails of legalization by making the people think, oh, we took care of that. Do you feel that there's a possibility that might happen with this CBD bill? That people might think, oh, well, we did something about medical marijuana already.
Yeah, I do feel that. It's just the way that there's a little bit of a problem here in Florida, too, regarding economic liberty. There's what we call economic protectionism here. Already there's, 5 growers here in the state of Florida, so that's it. See, that there's this, we're Florida, it is, like they want to act like they're listening to people, but they're actually not. They're doing it in a way that protects still the status quo and limits it to who has access towards it. So we need more people like me, liberty-minded people. It doesn't have to be libertarian. it could be independent, could be no party affiliation, just people that truly want to help other people with this. This is not about getting high. This is about helping people. This really is. We're now seeing more and more every day the great benefits to medical marijuana, to the point where you're not even smoking it, you're maybe eating it or using the oil. There's so many different ways that you can use it, apply it to your body. So they just up there, unless there's a financial. That's really what it comes down to. There's some kind of financial angle to it. I'm not going to see it here in Florida, and here, especially in my district, it's there are some areas that are very wealthy, and so it's like you see really nice looking streets, nice looking, the whole area, the whole town, the whole city is nice looking stores, no mom and pop shops, because that's what I find is a big issue, is that the state of Florida is pushing that out. They have this appearance. We have a tourism industry here in Florida. We want Florida to look a certain way and appear a certain way, and marijuana is not in that, doesn't fit in that image. So what you're saying, I could see that happening. I could see them saying, hey, we already addressed that issue.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. All right, we're speaking here with Omar Recuero. He's a Florida State Representative candidate for District 100. You can learn more about him at Facebook.com, O4Liberty, O-F-O-R, Liberty on Facebook, and oforliberty.com is the website, right?
Yep.
Fantastic. So moving on here, I'm taking a look at your issues. I see pro-choice, low taxes, fiscal responsibility, civil rights and liberties, education, opposition to wasteful spending. I mean, almost everything in here applies to the marijuana movement in some way. I mean, wasteful spending, locking people up, civil rights, the right to medicine. It seems like this is a tailor-made issue for you.
Yeah, it is.
Is it what attracted you to wanting to be a representative?
No. There's other issues as well, and I'm not sorry. I can't just be a one-issue guy.
Sure.
There's a lot of issues in the district as well, because it's the beach district, and people are concerned about beach erosion. They're concerned about. There's a lot of hardworking folks in my area. Education is a big concern. Common Core is a big concern here. More and more people are kind of looking at Common Core and going, ooh.
Yeah.
And that's Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah.
So that's getting bipartisan support. The surveillance state, there's cameras up where I live in Hollywood now. They're putting cameras up everywhere to track you and follow you and stuff like that. It's supposed to help with crime, but again, the Fourth Amendment is very specific, and even in the Florida Constitution is very specific about that. The Florida Constitution says they have Article 1. Oh, now I have to look at the Florida Constitution. Article 1, Section 12 says that everyone has the right to privacy, this and that. It's the Fourth Amendment, but it goes one step further in saying that no electronic communication shall be intercepted without a warrant. It's actually updated. We have a pretty decent Constitution here in Florida.
Yeah.
But still, we're in violation of it all over the place. And everything that you mentioned, spending, we're spending on wasteful things. We have $77 billion. We just passed a $77 billion budget here in the state of Florida. I talked to teachers last year. There was a bill that was passed, or there was some appropriations made in the budget to give teachers raises. A lot of teachers I've spoken to are saying still waiting on that money.
Yeah. Omar, when I look at the polling that comes across, and not just from Florida, but from other states, oftentimes I see a dip in the support, obviously among conservatives, Republicans, older folks, and Hispanics, surprisingly enough. And that's like, I just described Florida. So what sort of ways do you outreach to the older community, to the Hispanic community, to conservatives to try to get this message across?
Well, the conservatives like my message because I talk about the Constitution, limited government, and how we just need to simplify things here in Florida. So the message is not extreme.
Okay.
I know there's some libertarians, or maybe you've heard someone who is a libertarian but not running for office speak, or third party or independent, and they're way out there in left field or right field. My message is more center. A lot of people have actually told me you should just be running as an independent, and I said, listen, you have to be with a party. That's how it works.
Yeah.
I couldn't run independent or no party affiliation. I decided to go with the Libertarian Party for better or worse, so that it's something, because I just couldn't run as a Republican or a Democrat. The Hispanics, you just have to get the Hispanics you have to inspire them. Mm-hmm. You have to talk to them and listen to them. That's what this job is about. Listen to people. I go to places and I talk to people. I knock on doors. It's a real grassroots campaign, and I just listen to what they have to say and let them bring their issues to me. DCF is a big issue here. Department of Children and Families.
Okay.
A lot of bad stuff coming out this year. Kids that were lost in the system, that died, been abused, this and that. I've heard some people say, hey, you know what the problem is with DCF? They need more money. $300 million and they need more money. Or maybe we need better people in DCF. We need better people in government, such as myself, who will overlook those agencies and hold people accountable for what's going on.
Or maybe stop breaking up families by arresting daddy for dealing weed or something.
That too. And you're right. This all comes right back to center about medical marijuana. Yeah, exactly. About decriminalizing it once and for all. We actually talked about this at our local libertarian meeting about how the status quo is not always going to be the status quo because the generation is changing. More and more people are we're shifting away from that very, very conservative image that America had once upon a time, where women dress a certain way, where men dress a certain way, where we carried ourselves a certain way, where, things are more open and understanding the way it should be.
Yeah.
So people are finding themselves leaning to the libertarian message. And to give you some insight as to what I'm doing in my district, it's the top registered voters are Democrat. Second is other, and that's everybody else. That's how they categorize it here in Florida.
Okay.
Third is Republicans.
Wow.
So I couldn't run as a Republican because I have no chance. The Democrats just wake up that day and I lose.
Right.
So I figure it's better to go after independents and MPAs and talk to them like an independent, like an MPA.
Right.
The message is very, very centered. And depending on what your top issues are, I can give you what the solution is to it, and a lot of people have liked it. So far, the campaign is going really well because everywhere I go and talk to people, they like the message.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a Democratic primary. I'm running against a couple of Democrats. And then after that, in November, it's a Democrat versus myself. And we'll see what happens. I mean, by default, that seat was going to go to a Democrat anyways.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that these guys that are going to potentially represent me, I don't really agree with a lot of what they have to say. So I feel like I could do the job better.
Yeah.
That's my mentality.
That's a great mentality, great attitude.
And in fact, I think there's 3 Democrats running right now. 2 of them, I don't even know what their position is on marijuana. That's interesting. Like, I can't find it anywhere on any of the literature.
Wow.
One of them has worked with United for Cure. I mean, I think I've seen. So I think he might be at least yes on 2. I don't know about anything beyond that.
Right.
So that just goes to show you how, they're working together.
Yeah. Right on. Omar Recuero running for Florida State Representative in District 100. Check out the website oforliberty.com or facebook.com/oforliberty. You can also reach him on email, omar2014@oforliberty.com. Omar, good luck to you and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, back to some music.